Eh bien le bonsoir. Bienvenue sur ce nouveau live consacré à Chicken Police Paint in It. Excusez-moi. Red. Je ne sais plus combien de thèmes de live on en est, je crois que c'est le 4e, ça tombe bien puisqu'on en est au 4e chapitre. On débarque dans un asile psychiatrique, on va lancer le jeu directement, nous continuons. Nous arrivons donc dans ce nouveau lieu, un asile psychiatrique, pour enquêter sur la possible mort, je dis bien possible, d'Albert Wessler. C'est-à-dire le frère de Ibn Wessler, gangster, grand gangster de sa ville, donc de Clowville, et potentiellement responsable du meurtre sur lequel nous enquêtons, meurtre de Déborah. Voilà. Toujours des Déborah dans les jeux auxquels je joue. Cette fois-ci, il y en a eu encore une et elle est morte. Triste. Alors, explorons du coup ce nouveau lieu. Hein. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez, vous?
This guy seems strangely familiar to me.
You don't say. You've been treated here too. That would explain a lot.
Oh, don't be stupid. I'm serious. Take a closer look.
No.
Well?
No, it can't be. Are you telling me it's him? M.B. Davis himself?
I'm sure of it, pal. It seems the gossip was true. The eternal king of jazz in a madhouse.
Oh, no. The poor devil.
Donc le jazzman que aime beaucoup le personnage
Even if you
principal.
manage to escape, there's nothing but hills and forests for 100 miles.
Imagine how many poor lunatic ghosts must...
Ooh, Sonny, you're creeping me out.
Des fresques bizarres où il y a de la couleur, hein, contrairement à tout le reste. Hein, c'est ce qu'on avait relevé
This picture.
précédent
It's
live.
very
Special?
Donc du coup le roi de Clowville, le roi renard, il y a des trucs qui pourraient nous donner des indices. Cette peinture, non, pas l'impression.
This picture.
It's very...
Special?
Ok, est-ce qu'on a tout regardé? Ah non, il y a le couloir là-bas qu'on n'a pas regardé.
We should go to reception first.
Oui, hein.
Let them know we're here.
Madame la girafe.
like an angel from heaven, isn't she?
Yeah, half of her's still up there, I think.
Ah,
That's rude.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Of all the great wild ones,
ah c'est con.
Greetings, miss.
is it really you?
Well, yes.
Yes, it really is you, the chicken police.
I'm afraid so.
Of all that's furry and plumey, that's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
Miss, we'd like to ask...
Please, don't be scared. I'm just really excited. You know, I've read every book about you and your adventures, and I even collected newspaper articles.
Il doit bien y
when I
avoir
was a
des
little
extraits des
girl.
romans dans les parages.
Indeed.
You can't imagine what an honor it is to meet you in person.
We really...
Oh God. Take a deep breath, Miranda. Take a deep breath.
Are you okay, miss?
Yes, I am. I just needed some air. So, dear detectives, Santino and Martin, what can I do for you?
Well, miss, we have some questions, if you don't mind.
I'd love to answer all of your questions, detectives.
Alors,
Say, miss, what can you tell us about this place?
Our institution was standing even before the Great Meat War, and during the war, it was transformed into a military hospital. Since then, we're relentlessly working on treating injured minds under the leadership of Dr. Quetzal, the famous specialist.
The place seems pretty empty.
oh, un serpent.
Do many people work here?
We have 32 residents and 7 nurses, including me. We also have a 3-person maintenance and cleaning staff and, of course, the heart and soul of our institution, Dr. Quetzal himself.
I see. Now, this Dr. Quetzal, is he the director here?
Exactly. Director, scientist, researcher, patron, and doctor. And even a friend.
Quite a guy.
He certainly is.
Hmm.
So who is this Dr. Quetzal exactly?
He's a world-famous researcher of the mind, Mr. Featherland. He published countless books in the fields of psychology and psychotherapy.
Psycho what?
Unraveling the mind. It's the most crucial mission of the century, Mr. McChicken.
That's really good to know.
So this doctor's some celebrity, right? Does he usually meet other important persons?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, like Mr. Hobart Wessler, for example.
Ah, yes. That's something you should ask the doctor himself, but unfortunately, I don't think he has time right now.
He's swamped, is he?
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. He is very, very, very busy. All the time.
Bah tiens,
I thought so.
ça l'arrange bien surtout, oui.
What can you say about this, miss? Have you seen anything like it?
Of course. Our residents wear these for identification. But how did you come by it? They only wear them inside the institution.
Huh. I see.
The wristband does belong to one of our residents. But I'm afraid I'm not allowed to tell you more due to regulations.
Oh, come on, Miranda. It's us, the Chicken Police.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Miranda, this case is a matter of life and death. Lives are in your hands.
All right. All right. I'll do it. Albert Wessler. The patient's name is Albert Thaddeus Wessler.
Ok, c'est bien la confirmation que c'était donc son
Figures.
bracelet.
Just as we thought.
Thank you, Miranda. We'll never forget this.
Please, don't make me blush. And don't tell anyone you heard it from me.
Oh, we won't. I promise.
So when can we talk to Mr. Wessler?
I need to ask Dr. Quetzal. Please wait here.
Thank you.
We need to let them know we're here. That was...
Pluck you.
Dr. Quetzal will see you. He's waiting for you in his office. Up the stairs, all the way down the hall, until the last door.
What a surprise. It's enough to mention Wessler's name and all the doors are open.
I wouldn't want to get mixed up in this, but do you think Albert is in danger?
Danger? What do you mean?
We haven't heard from him since he disappeared, and we're really, really worried.
I see. We don't know yet, miss, but let's hope for the best.
Great wild ones protect him.
Where is he?
No idea, Marty.
The smell of all that's furry. I'll never get used to it.
Well, reptiles have a disgusting body odor, Marty.
Il est là.
But
Hein.
they feel exactly the same about us.
Exactly. Great wild ones, you scared the hell out of me.
I already sensed your arrival from afar. You know, snakes have a different sense of smell.
Well, yeah. Luckily, we're living in civilized times.
Lucky. Please take a seat. How can I help you, gentlemen?
Déjà, on va observer ton bureau. Hein.
Your
Ta flamme.
office is rather Puritan. Simple, I mean.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, yes. I can't let my mind wander from my work. I only keep what's essential in my office.
I see. That makes sense.
Ça a du sens que c'est exactement pareil pour lui, j'imagine. Armoire à pharmacie, là, mais on peut pas le regarder.
Is this cell like the others?
I would rather call it a room. But yes, it's like all the others, except...
Why do you have bars on your windows?
Because it's a room like all the others, and I'm just an animal too, like all our residents.
With the significant difference of you being a doctor and not a patient.
It's not as big of a difference as you think.
An isle of reason in a sea of insanity.
Insanity is such a strong word, and it's mostly an abstract idea. Where does insanity start, and how long is one not insane? Interesting questions. Am I normal, or are you? Maybe neither of us.
You see, that's something I think about a lot nowadays.
If you like, I can give you an appointment.
Oh, this is your chance, Sonny. Don't miss it. We're already here.
Marty, cluck up.
Bon, c'est l'heure de lui parler.
A snake. I can't help it, but they make my feathers stand on end.
Comment il se dandine sur sa chaise.
To be honest, gentlemen, your visit is anything but a surprise. I could even say I was expecting it.
What an introduction.
Please forgive me. I have the bad habit of immediately getting into the middle of things. How very rude of me. My name is Dr. Sessuus Quetzalcoatl, but most call me Dr. Quetzal to keep it
Quetzalcoatl comme
simple.
le dieu aztèque.
The name is Santino Featherland, and this is my partner, Martin McChicken, from
the Predatory Division of the Clawville Police Department. Your fame is one step ahead of you.
We're used to it.
Certainly.
We have some questions about one of your patients, if you don't mind. We'd like to talk to him, if that's possible.
Please be specific, Detective.
Look, Doctor, we're too tired to play cat and mouse. Not that snake and chicken sounds...
Very funny, I must say. Just what I expected from you two detectives.
We know you know. It's about Albert Wessler, Ibn Wessler's secret twin. Ever since we've said his name, all the doors have miraculously opened. That's what we call a bullseye.
Well, yes. Why should I deny it? We're talking about a rather illustrious patient here, who's also a very particular medical case.
Now, that's much more interesting. So, are you willing to talk about him?
Because Albert, regrettably, has disappeared, and you are police detectives, I have no reason not to talk to you. Of course, I'm at your service, but you must understand, I can't disclose information about my patients.
Not even if it's a matter of life and death?
Everything's a matter of life and death in here, Detective. This is a hospital, even if it's primarily for the mind, not the body.
Still, I'd like to give the impossible a try.
Please, Detective, just do your job, and I'll do mine.
Bon, du coup, aller reparler avec... Ah mais non, faut lui poser des questions.
How long was Albert a resident of the institution?
For quite some time, his first symptoms surfaced in his teens. Depression, panic attacks, and schizophrenia.
Was he brought here immediately after the first signs that something wasn't right?
You know, the biggest problem with an opinion on insanity is that animals are ashamed of it. That's the reason our institution stands out here in the middle of nowhere.
Because animals would rather hide what they're afraid to face.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
As far as I know, the Wessler family wasn't exceptionally wealthy.
Indeed, they were rather poor, but we offer our services gratis.
Then how do you sustain yourselves?
By the grace of the treasury of King Hector III, of course.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
My family and the royal dynasty had always been...
What kind of a place is this exactly? I assume it wasn't built as an insane asylum.
It used to be a mansion. Construction started during the occupation in 622. Then it stood empty for almost a century, until finally it went to the crown of Cloville when Hector's great-grandfather took the throne. The rest is history.
Salut Florian. Tu peux le voir, on est en train de discuter avec un docteur serpent, directeur d'un asile psychiatrique. Tout va bien. Cette phrase est totalement logique.
How long have you been working here?
I've worked here for more than 30 years, but it's been in my family's possession for almost 150 years.
So if I count correctly, as soon as it went to the crown, it was seized by your family.
That's almost accurate, Mr. Featherland.
What a lovely inheritance.
Madame
Tell me,
Zevas.
Doctor, do you know Madame Zevas?
Just like everybody else, I've heard of her, but I never had the pleasure of meeting her in person. I'm sure she's an interesting case.
Oh, you can be sure about that. I'd gladly get you two together if I had the chance. A spare cell would suit her very much.
Is that so?
As it turns out, she likes small, narrow, secret places.
Référence à la pièce cachée qu'elle avait dans son bureau.
Oh, I see. What a coincidence.
Madame Zevas. On peut l'interroger. Alors attendez. Est-ce qu'il faudrait fouiller un peu plus dans l'asile? Ouais, il a bien disparu de l'asile, hein, c'est bien la confirmation. Du coup, est-ce qu'il est vraiment mort ou est-ce que... est-ce que c'est un autre cadavre qu'ils ont balancé dans la ruche? Oui. D'accord, c'est un python vert, ok. Miranda la girafe. Une énorme fan de nous, hein. Elle s'appelle Miranda, et c'est une si grande fan de l'inspecteur Poulet que ça en devient gênant. Le codex. Et voilà. J'ai aperçu la girafe tout à l'heure, incroyable. Depuis sa fondation, il n'y a eu qu'une tentative de conquérir Cloville. Cette occupation d'un demi-siècle a commencé en l'an 622 et a duré jusqu'en 677. Pendant cette période, l'Empire Harar s'est emparé de tous les territoires de Cloville à l'exception de ses colonies qui, au final, avec l'aide de Swolasso et Vlavoslavla, ont repris le contrôle de Cloville. C'est compliqué les noms, là. Surtout lui là. Vraiment, c'est super intéressant tout ce qu'il y a dans le codec. C'est vraiment que du lore. Expliquer un peu l'univers, comment il a été créé et ce qui en découle. Mais c'est très intéressant. Non, il n'y a rien d'autre à faire fouiller ici en fait. Faut rien leur demander d'autre. Ok, bon bah on va aller interroger le serpent.
Dr. Quetzal's a real mystery. But I can turn that to my advantage. I just need to focus on the strangest pieces of the puzzle.
Les pièces les plus étranges du puzzle. Oh la gueule qu'il a de face. Le docteur Quetzal est très mystérieux, mais je peux en tirer parti et je dois me concentrer sur les pièces les plus étranges du puzzle. Impression énigmatique. Alors quand Albert est-il devenu patient
when
ici?
did Albert become Albert and Hobart, or Ibn as you call him, arrived here almost exactly 4 years ago.
Il y a des news pour la surprise, c'est soon et ça va être Yimb. Tu me fais peur. D'accord, donc Hobart aussi, il a été patient dans
Could
l'asile.
you describe that day more specifically?
It was not long after New Year's Eve, maybe the first week of the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was sleeting that day. Wind was banging incessantly on the windows.
Oh, la gueule qu'il a de
The
face,
power
il fait
was
peur.
going
Hein.
out for short periods of time.
What was your first impression of them?
I already knew the Wessler name. I knew who they were. Or at least I knew one of them, Hobart Wessler. He was famous. Gangster, moneylender, celebrity, lover.
And Albert?
He was new to me, an invisible grey ghost. The family had tried to keep his existence a secret.
Ah, c'est pour ça que peu de personnes semblent savoir que Albert et Eben sont frères jumeaux.
Why?
Because they were ashamed of him, of course, Mr. Featherland. That's how it usually is.
What was your first impression of him?
He was silent, but observed everything that surrounded him. His eyes were constantly moving, never stopped for a second.
J'adore comment il se dandine quand il parle. Comment c'est vrai ça
Was he afraid?
I wouldn't say so. It seemed to me that he wanted to move into our institution voluntarily. It looked as if he couldn't wait to be here, alone, locked up in silence and darkness.
Didn't you think of that as unusual?
Of course I did, but who am I to judge? It was rather special treatment.
Alors, il faut qu'on se concentre sur les pièces étranges du puzzle. On peut lui demander quel genre de traitement. Eben Wessler vous aurait-il menacé de quelque façon? On va lui demander
What
le
kind
traitement.
of special treatment did Albert?
You know, if an institution like ours has to accept a Wessler as a guest, there's bound to be some favoritism.
And complete secrecy, I guess.
Yes, but that's the case for all our patients, Mr. Featherland.
Of course. So in what way did he receive more than the others?
Basically, we don't admit anyone into our institution without a complete and thorough prior assessment. In the case of Albert, we put that aside.
So you didn't even know if he had anything wrong with him?
Initially, no. He was more of a guest than a patient.
D'accord, on a monté de 10. Comment avez-vous perçu Albert la première fois que vous l'avez rencontré? Vous pensiez qu'il était une menace pour les autres? Quel était son rapport avec vous? J'hésite entre lui demander ce qu'il en a pensé la première fois qu'il l'a vu, ou si c'était une menace pour les autres. Qu'est-ce qu'il en a pensé la première fois qu'il l'a vu?
How did you see Albert when you first met?
Albert was shy and reserved, like a ghost. He almost never touched anything. It was evident he was exceptionally intelligent. He measured and observed everything around him.
What else?
He was delicate and graceful, almost like a woman. Yes. He was rather feminine. He was an artist, Mr. Featherland, a magnificent painter, and rather good writer, too. Sometimes I even
C'est pas le
heard
portrait
him
d'un mec qui aurait dû finir dans un
sing.
hôpital psychiatrique.
Why
Nous
did he have to
dépeint,
be
là.
locked up?
I asked the same thing at first.
Oui, hein, c'est étrange, ouais.
Are you telling me Albert had multiple personalities?
We found out very quickly that there was no other reason for the cause of his seizures. He had a cold and calculating personality who sometimes, especially on stormy days, took the reins over their shared
D'accord.
mind.
He had these seizures from the beginning.
Yes, Mr. Featherland, but they started to intensify after Albert left our institution for the first time.
He did what? Left the institution? More than once?
Oh, yes, Mr. Featherland. Albert left the institution on several occasions until the last time, when he failed to come back.
Quetzal's not only very observant, but he's addicted to details. I must focus on that if I want to get closer to the truth. Focus. Addicted to details.
Obsédé par les détails. Quand et pourquoi Albert a-t-il quitté l'hôpital pour la première fois? Je pense que ça va être ça. Vous me cachez des choses. Albert pouvait entrer et sortir comme bon lui semblait. Comment avez-vous pu laisser Albert quitter cet endroit? On va lui demander quand est-ce qu'il est parti la première fois.
When and why did Albert leave the institution for the first time?
It was about 2 years ago. Mr. Hobart Wessler appeared and demanded we let his brother go free. Naturally, we obliged. We had no idea if we'd ever see him again.
En fait, c'est pas un hôpital psychiatrique pour eux, c'est un hôtel, quoi. La voix du MC me fait penser à quelque chose.
But you did.
Moi, au tout début du jeu, elle me faisait penser à la voix de Willem Dafoe. Donc Norman Osborn / le bouffon vert dans les Spider-Man de Sam Raimi. Et dans d'autres films, hein, mais je cite le truc pour lequel il est surtout connu par le grand public. Mais en fait, non, c'est pas ça. En fait, c'est un doubleur qui n'a fait que du jeu vidéo jusque-là, quoi, je crois.
He returned the same day. Albert was ecstatic. He was unrestrained. I could almost say happy.
That was unusual for him.
I had never seen him like that before, Mr. Featherland. He just smiled and stared at the empty wall for hours.
Did he ever tell you what happened to him outside?
Of course he did. Albert and I had a good relationship. He was working on a painting for his brother.
Was it a painting of a lovely lady cat?
Oh, exactly.
Ah,
So you already knew
tableau qu'on a
about
vu au
that.
tout début du jeu.
Yes, Dr. Quetzal, I've seen it.
Ah, ou c'est peut-être un bout de ce tableau-là qu'on a dans nos pièces d'indices d'ailleurs, là. Donc Albert est parti de nombreuses fois pour continuer à travailler sur le tableau. Albert vous a-t-il déjà parlé de Natacha? Albert vous a-t-il parlé de sa relation avec son frère? Oh là là. Comment elle se sentait à propos de ce tableau? Il a quand même joué dans 299 trucs. Ah, il a joué dans quoi du coup?
So Albert left on many occasions to continue working on the painting.
Exactly, Mr. Featherland. Every time he came back, he was like a different person. But unfortunately, his seizures also multiplied and became more dangerous.
Sam le pompier.
More
Extraordinaire.
dangerous.
Albert was hurting himself, and on one occasion, he even tried to hurt me. It was unprecedented. It seemed his confined personality was taking over their shared mind entirely, piece by piece.
Do you think the painting caused it?
Not the painting, Mr.
Ah non, à cause de son
Featherland.
frère, ou même de Natacha possiblement.
But its subject.
Voilà, Natacha.
Exactly. He was obsessed. Right until that fateful day when he returned to us for the last time.
What exactly happened that day, Doctor?
It wasn't Hobart who brought his brother back that day, but two of his gorillas. Not literally, I mean. And Albert was in a terrible, terrible state.
What happened to him?
I don't like to talk about that, Mr. Featherland.
It could be vital to the case, Dr. Quetzal. Don't back down.
Oh, you're right. There's no use turning back now.
Oh,
So, Albert's tongue was torn out, or cut off, I don't know exactly, and he was blinded in one eye, or rather, one of his eyes was missing entirely.
il a coupé la langue. À tous les coups, c'est pas Albert qui est mort. À tous les coups, c'est Ibn qui est mort. Albert qui a pris possession de sa mafia et qui a pris sa place. Et il l'a tué pour être avec Natasha. À tous les coups, c'est ça, je pense. Alors, Tropico 6, Blair Witch, Horizon Zero Dawn, Steep, Batman Arkham Knight. La liste est longue, bordel. Ah oui, d'accord. Oui, c'est pas un inconnu du monde du doublage dans le JV, quoi, d'accord.
So you're saying Albert was brought back horribly mutilated?
Yes. And they didn't give any explanation as to what had happened. They simply told me it was some kind of accident.
Dr. Quetzal is cold and professional, but he's also very confused. Maybe it's cruel, but I must exploit his vulnerability if I want to learn everything about Albert.
Ok, les deux gars qui ont ramené Albert, vous pourriez me les décrire. Je comprends que ça puisse être difficile pour vous d'en parler, mais avez-vous examiné ses blessures avec attention? Vous avez pas pensé qu'Albert avait eu un accident aussi? Profondément troublé. On va lui demander s'il a bien fait
Maybe it's
attention aux
not easy
blessures.
for you to talk about it, but
I'm not that kind of doctor, Mr. Featherland. But even I could determine his tongue was either cut out or bitten off. And his eye was gouged out. He also had several broken bones.
but there's no doubt it wasn't an accident.
I don't believe it was, Mr. Featherland.
I totally agree.
Reprenez-vous donc, Doc, dans quel état se trouve Albert après l'accident? Docteur, qu'est-il arrivé à Albert d'après vous?
Concentrate, Doctor. What do you think happened to Albert?
I'm sure it was Hobart. He
Donc c'est ma
ordered
théorie.
his men to mutilate poor Albert.
But why would he do
Ah non,
that?
non, du coup moi c'est le contraire, je pense.
Maybe Albert saw
En fait
something.
c'est pas Albert
he
qui
could
est revenu à l'asile,
accidentally
c'est Hobart.
reveal.
To whom? The four walls? A couple of crazies? You?
To anyone, Mr. Featherland.
I don't think it's that simple, Doctor. But thank you for your honest opinion.
You're welcome, Detective.
What happened then? How did Albert disappear?
A few weeks later, Hobart came to visit Albert one more time. Albert had been in terrible condition by then. We even had to transfer him to another cell.
La musique est forte tout d'un coup là. Il va falloir que j'aille voir dans les options.
What did Hobart do during the visit?
C'est remis dans les paramètres de base.
He didn't do anything. He just sat and watched his brother, who was in an almost vegetative.
La voix qui a baissé,
state
non,
by
ouais, c'est
then.
étrange là ce qui se passe.
Couldn't you manage to draw anything out of him? You or Hobart?
Ouais, est-ce que la voix de Sony reste la même?
Nothing. For a while, he was trying to signal something. Perhaps he was too afraid. And most likely his fingers had been
Mais
broken
voilà, on
too, so he couldn't even write.
pouvait plus du tout communiquer en fait, donc c'est ça. C'est Albert qui pendant une de ses sorties de l'hôpital a pris la place de son frère jumeau, quoi. Il l'a martyrisé, quoi. Le mec qui double le serpent s'est éloigné de son micro.
Do
Ça doit
you
être ça.
think Hobart could have killed Albert?
It's horrible to say it, but I'm sure of it.
How did he disappear in the end? Did someone come for him?
That's what's most eerie about it all, Mr. Featherland. He simply disappeared. his door, which only I had a key for, was open.
Did anyone see anything?
No one. We interrogated the staff, even the patients. He simply vanished off the face of the wilderness.
Ah, moi je sais ce qui lui est arrivé, on l'a retrouvé dans la ruche, donc bon. Enfin non, on l'a pas retrouvé dans la ruche, mais il a été balancé dans la ruche. Ah, on le sait.
Unfortunately, I have a hunch. Thank you, Doctor. You've been a great help.
Oh, well, I'm glad I could be of help. But please, I now must attend to my work.
We understand, Doctor. Thank you.
Oh là 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 là, bam! Bam! Dis donc, 5 sur 5. Vrai détective. Indice important, Albert Wesker. Je pense quand même que le nom de ce personnage, Albert Wesker, c'est vraiment un clin d'œil à Albert Wesker, grand méchant de la saga Resident Evil. Ce serait compliqué de ne pas penser que c'est une ref. Albert Wesker a disparu, on a bien une idée de ce qui lui est arrivé.
That's quite shocking information.
I think you understand why we kept it a secret. If it wasn't for Mr. Wessler's demand, we'd never let any of our patients walk freely outside our institution.
Then the accident happened.
Accident? Ha! We didn't believe it, not for a second. After Albert came back to us, horribly mutilated, he was different.
Different how?
If someone got one of his eyes poked
Ah
out
oui.
and his tongue torn out, he'd be different, but not like this. Albert was a different person.
Parce que c'était pas Albert, c'était Hobart.
We believe you, Doctor. So, can we take a look at Albert's cell?
I'd rather call it his room. Mr. Wessler
Ah.
lived in exceptional circumstances.
Thanks to the Wessler name, I guess.
Yes. Well, we try to make all of our patients stay as comfortable as possible, but Albert certainly enjoyed special favoritism.
I hope you don't mind if we take a look around in there.
That's not going to bother anyone.
Well, that's surprising.
I've never seen a cell like this before, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind living here myself.
It seems that being a Wessler gets you privileges.
And a healthy dose of danger.
Mostly
Oui.
that, yeah. Let's take a good look around. I'm sure we'll find some answers here.
Well, I smell paint, ink, plaster, some kind of oil, aging paper, slight smell of rat, and Great Expectations.
What the dickens?
Unmistakable. Yeah.
This place is bad for you, pal. But if you've already jump-started your beak holes, then sniff out the solution.
I'm on it, Boss Bird.
Boss Bird. Ah! L'un de nos romans. Ouais, puisqu'en fait, les deux personnages qui forment donc la Chicken Police, comme les journalistes les appellent, ont résolu plein d'enquêtes et en fait, il y a une série de romans carrément qui leur est attitrée. Et donc, on trouve ces romans éparpillés un peu partout. C'est genre du collectible rigolo, quoi. Voilà, c'est marrant. J'aime beaucoup les designs des covers très pulp. Ah, rigolo. Chicken Police Story. C'est marrant parce que sympa, yep. C'est marrant, ça pourrait vraiment être en fait le début d'une série de jeux, hein, clairement. On pourrait faire des suites ou des préquels. Hein. Alors,
You know, I don't think he had it so bad in here.
You mean apart from being separated from everyone you love in an ancient mansion filled with madmen?
You're right.
As always. The style. It's very familiar to me.
Ouais, c'est exactement le même style de peinture qui qu'il y a dans la chambre de Natacha et dans la maison close là, qu'on
You've
a déjà
been
visitée.
lonely for far too long, huh?
Not funny, Marty.
It is, a little.
Exactement le même genre de peinture, hein. On peut rien faire avec, hein. Non, on est d'accord. La fresque glauque, on va s'y intéresser à la fin. Hein. Bon, c'est... ah,
Identical twins. And looking at it, they may have easily loved the same woman.
ah, le jeu qui t'envoie
Two men and one
des
woman.
messages clairs. Quoi.
Nothing good ever comes of that.
Well, I wouldn't say that exactly.
Of all the wild ones, Marty, please.
Pour
stitch
l'amour
up
de la
your beak,
jungle.
okay?
Just use your imagination, old bird.
Ah, on a embarqué la photo.
Scribbles, newspaper articles, study papers, poems, perfect chaos.
J'aime bien Marty. Vraiment, leur dynamique fonctionne très bien. Sony, genre le vieux flic, et Marty, la jeune, entre guillemets, jeune recrue, comparé à Sony.
Just like the troubled mind of a troubled fella.
Le duo fonctionne
Yeah,
très,
but
très
there's
bien.
still a kind of order in it. It's just too intricate for you to comprehend.
If you say so, boss.
Look at that. A letter.
On a tout pris hein, ici. Hein. Yes, on a tout pris. On va voir. On a chopé. La photo.
Identical twins.
On va la regarder de
And
plus
looking
près.
at it,
Il te fout de moi, on peut pas la regarder de plus près. Oh. Alors, qu'est-ce que ça dit?
Albert was madly in love with Natasha and would have done anything for her. I'm afraid he did exactly that.
Mhm. Mais laisse-moi...
Albert was madly in love.
Mais, salopard. Alors... Ah oui, c'est très... Ah, c'est très fumeux. Hein. Je joue à la manette? Non, je joue à la souris.
Albert was madly...
À la souris, monsieur.
What do you make of this?
Apart from the fact the guy was totally insane? I don't know. What should I?
That maybe we've been chasing the wrong person all this time, Marty.
What do you mean?
Everything will be revealed.
Why do you have to be so melodramatic all of a sudden?
If I'm right, this'll flip the whole case upside down.
Pourquoi on aurait dit que je jouais à la manette?
What's that, Sonny? A blurb from some horrible novel?
I just have to think things through before I come to any hasty conclusions, Marty.
Ugh, you're killing me. So, what now? Where
Les
to?
mouvements du curseur, bah écoute...
Back to Clawville, where we can finally put all the pieces together.
Là-bas qu'on pourra assembler les pièces du puzzle.
You're driving me crazy. But all right.
Hey! On n'a même pas pu regarder la fresque. Honteux. Honteux. Remboursé. Son propre frère Albert Wessler et a demandé à Zip. Ah oui, non mais ça oui. Sauf que c'est le contraire en fait. C'est Albert du coup qui a... Je résous l'enquête avant tout le monde. Hein. Et fluide aussi, je sais pas. Bah comment ça? Bah ma souris est fluide, moi je sais pas. Oui, bon ça on le sait. Quelle info on a eu? Ah oui. Et quand il s'est fait défoncer la gueule. Bon, allez peindre ce tableau fatidique de Natacha. Albert a disparu, on a bien une idée de ce qui lui est arrivé, oui. Hop, alors, Albert est tombé mortellement amoureux de Natacha, c'est pour ça qu'il fallait qu'il meure, oui. Oui. Il faut qu'on retourne au bureau, c'est ça qu'il a dit, hein. Ah.
What can you tell us about the woman in the photo we saw in Albert's room?
Do you mean Miss Natasha Katsenko? Well, yes. I don't know much about her, but everyone heard her name and her voice around here.
Did she ever visit this place?
Never. But if you ask me, Natasha probably didn't even know Albert was a resident of our institution.
And Albert, did he mention her often?
Constantly.
Ah, il
It
est
was
tombé amoureux.
obvious he had an affection for Miss Katsenko, but I wouldn't have thought for a moment he could escape because of her.
I wouldn't jump ahead, Doctor. Something else could be behind Albert's disappearance.
Do you think so? All the signs clearly indicate this.
Maybe they do, Doctor, but in my line of work, logic's not always the best advisor.
In 99% of cases.
Exactly. But this one typically belongs to the remaining 1%.
If you say so.
Ouais, bah du coup on va retourner au bureau. Hein. Il semble bien que c'est ce qu'il a dit. Hein. Ouais. Faut qu'on aille au bureau et on ne peut aller qu'au bureau. Bah, go.
Oh, I don't believe this. Those two again?
Oh,
My car won't last much longer.
Don't worry, Sonny. I was born to do this.
ah, bande de salopards. Merde. Oh putain. Bande d'enfoirés.
For the God's sake,
Can you drive like you're not a fucking lunatic?
shut up and shoot, you big feather pillow.
Et oh, j'ai essayé de lui péter le.
Are you blind or what? Where did you learn to shoot?
C'est bon, c'est bon.
Whew. Well, that was close.
A little too
La voiture,
close
non
for
mais
my
oh.
taste. And it only strengthens my belief. Wessler is desperate. He knows if we survive, he's done for.
Well, come on, what did you work out? Will you tell me already?
Sure. Let's put the picture together, piece by piece. Let's start from the beginning.
Ah, alors.
We got a case.
Reprenons depuis le début. Donc on a une affaire donnée par Natasha. Et Natasha. Natasha. Quoi? Faut mettre un indice. Ah oui, c'est un indice. Ok. Ah non, c'est pas ça. Presque. Quoi? Le tableau alors. Ah bah oui, parce que oui, c'est son tableau, je suis con. Hop. Alors, Natasha tentait de nous montrer le tableau. Natasha essayait de nous cacher le tableau. Natasha voulait qu'on trouve le tableau pour elle. Natasha devait détruire le tableau pour cacher ce qui était arrivé à Albert Wessler. The fuck? Non, elle a voulu nous le montrer.
Natasha tried to show
Oui.
us the painting.
Elle a voulu nous le montrer, bah oui, bien sûr. Bon, ça, je suis pas sûr, hein.
And that painting would have shown us the way.
Le tableau nous aurait montré le chemin. Mais Natasha, elle était pas au courant aux distances d'Albert, je comprends pas. C'est la cachette d'Albert Wessler que nous n'avons pas encore trouvée. Ah non, c'est pas ça. Vers l'asile? Ah non, oui, je me disais bien, mais oui, Natasha, elle est pas au courant de l'asile. Ah mais si, mais je suis con, si elle est sur la photo, elle est... Mais attends, c'est bizarre. Non, elle est au courant de son existence, mais elle est jamais allée à l'asile, quoi. Elle savait pas qu'il était à l'asile. Ok. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut mettre, là? Voilà, tout simplement. Hein? Ah non, c'est... Oui, donc, d'accord, c'est bien... C'est bien un indice. Jumeau? Non? L'amour fatal. Qui a fait qu'Albert... Alors non, pas la forêt. Comme amoureux de Natacha, et s'est échappé de l'asile pour se cacher dans un endroit secret que nous devons trouver, a tué son frère. Ah ah! Et ça, c'est mon hypothèse. A tué son frère pour prendre sa place et a forcé Natacha à créer l'affaire avec les menaces. Quoi l'autre? Il a tué son frère et a pris secrètement sa place afin de... Ah, tout ça à mon avis. Parce que là, Natacha serait dans le coup et je ne pense pas que Natacha soit dans le coup. Voilà.
And on a fateful night, he killed his brother so he could take his place in secret and win Natasha's heart.
Yes.
So what happens now?
The inevitable, Marty. We're going to the Wessler mansion to confront Ibn with the facts.
You mean Albert, right?
Yeah, exactly. And of course, Natasha.
Natasha.
You think she knew about it?
Something stinks, Marty. The whole case seems too intricate.
Too many coincidences, right?
Well, well, after 10 years, you did learn something, didn't you?
9.
Ah,
You're right.
Huh.
What?
You just laughed, Sonny.
What? No, I snorted.
No, you laughed.
Ah, just leave it, Marty.
I'll be telling this to my grandchicks.
All right, pal, that's enough.
Okay. So, Albert fell madly in love with Natasha and decided to have her for himself.
And his best chance was to trade places with Ibn Wessler.
So that's why the torn out tongue.
ah oui.
Yeah, Ibn couldn't squeal even if he wanted to.
What a diabolical plan.
More like insane.
But why the messages then? Why the threats? Albert got what he wanted. He could have got away with it.
I'm not a psychologist, Marty, but remember what the doctor told us. Albert has a seriously injured mind and a split personality. I think his two identities were at war with each other.
So the messages were written by one of his personalities, consumed by jealousy?
Something like that, Marty. But we can only learn the whole truth from him.
You're right. So, are we going or what?
We're going,
Bah, on y va,
Marty,
oui.
to finally finish what we started.
Ah,
Well, if
Approche
there's
de la conclusion.
anything you'd like to do before,
Ah
do
oui,
it now,
effectivement.
boss. You won't have a chance later.
Voilà, on nous propose de revisiter du coup les lieux.
You're right,
La
Marty.
conclusion est là.
It's time to wrap everything up.
Ah, Lapinou! Il est là, Lapinou! Lapinou! Ah, mais c'est la première fois qu'on voit l'hôtel Atlas de l'extérieur, là, dis donc.
Do you remember that case with the goat?
Which one?
When that demented wolf devoured the kids of a young goat mother, and in revenge,
Ah, c'est
he
pas
cut
glauque, ça,
open his
par ça.
stomach and filled it with rocks.
Ah, mais c'est le petit chaperon rouge! Ah, c'est l'intrigue du petit chaperon rouge.
Do I remember? I'll never forget it. Hell, that was a slaughterhouse. As far as I know, she even took the remains of the kids with her. But how did that come to mind?
This was that shop. The goat mother was running it. They found the dead wolf in here.
This one exactly? Good gods.
Yeah, before it was closed down, when there was still some life here. Not even that now. Just
Yeah. Spooky place, that's for sure.
still, I love to live here.
Sonny, you're creepy.
Ah. D'accord. On va voir les alentours, là. Ah, c'est notre coffre.
I see we're ready.
You'll need a shotgun for this kind of deal, Marty. Maybe even that won't be enough.
Nothing to fear while Bertha's here. Even less because you're here too with Mr. Sinclair, of course.
Bertha, le fusil à pompe.
Should I cry?
That would be nice for a change.
Un poulet avec un fusil à pompe, quoi, extraordinaire. Du coup, le whisky n'aura servi à rien. Pendant toute l'aventure, on s'est baladé avec
If we survive this, can we crack this open?
une
I'd
bouteille
rather
de
keep
whisky.
it for a really special occasion.
You're saying I'm not special enough?
I was joking. If we survive this, we'll drink it to the last drop.
Now you're talking. Ah, Her Majesty Bertha II.
My drumstick still hurts every time I see her.
Be glad you're alive. Bertha rarely leaves witnesses. It's a little outdated, but I understand why you're so attached to it.
It can pierce the skin of a rhino, Marty, and the rust brings back memories. I'm a man of bad habits.
You know, sometimes I feel like I'm one of your bad habits.
Rest assured, Marty, you are.
You think you'll need your fake badge?
I never needed a badge, Marty.
What a punchline.
It's more like a kind of good luck charm. It reminds me of who I should be.
And? Does it work?
No, Marty, not really.
Do you think that'll be enough?
Enough evidence? Not in the slightest. That's why we go unannounced.
And with big guns.
Exactly.
I like this new Sonny.
There is no new Sonny. Just the old ones had enough.
If our theory's correct, this photo will hurt more than a bullet.
That's the plan.
Ok. On va parler avec Lapinou. Hein. Lapinou. Oh!
This fog's almost impenetrable.
Strange, but somehow this time I feel it's a good omen.
Really? How come?
I don't know. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel without the light.
Oh, you're not getting ready to die, are you, old man? If we're going on a suicide mission, I think I should know.
Why, haven't I told you yet?
You're not funny.
On a tout vu. Et, ah bon, on peut regarder l'hôtel Atlas.
I never thought I'd ever look at this place and think of it as home.
Life's weird, isn't it? I didn't think that after what I did to you, we'd work together again.
You mean when you shot me?
You know I had my reasons, Sonny.
Yeah. Have I ever,
I don't think so.
Then let's leave it that way.
Hey, I apologize for shooting you, Boss Bird.
That's okay, Marty. It happens even to the best of friends.
I'll remember what you've just said, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah? Well, don't try to take advantage of it.
Who, me? What do you think of me?
Ah mais on peut lui parler. Ah, on peut même lui poser des questions, dis donc. Marty!
Look, Sonny, I think if we go now, there's no turning.
I'm still
Ah,
thinking
c'est ce
of...
qu'il nous a dit. Alors.
I just realized. Ibn at the Tsar Club.
Yes, Marty. Albert's been Ibn for a long time now. Do you remember what Natasha said about him?
That he's been acting strange recently?
Ouais.
Exactly. Like, he's not himself anymore.
It was almost hitting us in the face, huh?
Don't blame yourself, Marty. We couldn't have figured that out just by ourselves.
Well, it's how we make our living, Sonny. And I'm sure we'll have plenty more twisted cases to come.
Who knows, Marty? It's not up to us. It's mostly not up to us.
Yeah, right. Do you think the asylum was in on it? I mean, covering up Albert's disappearance?
You know that reptiles give me the creeps. One of them even set fire to that ship. But oddly enough, the doctor seemed honest to me.
He seemed like a patient to me. Seriously, I thought everyone was crazy in that place.
Yeah. Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process, he doesn't become a monster.
Are you still talking about the doctor?
Good question.
So, what's the plan? We shove the letter and our theory in his face and see what happens?
Something like that, Marty. I think our presence will be enough for the truth to come out.
I really hope you're right, Boss Bird.
We have no other choice. So I hope so, too.
Do you think it's a love triangle? I mean, could Natasha love Albert as well?
Good question, Marty.
Ça, on ne
But I
sait
don't
pas.
think so. When I first spoke to Natasha, she told me she loved Ibn in her own way.
In her own way, huh? And could she love two rats in her own way?
Maybe. Maybe she even suspected the truth, but didn't dare admit it.
So, what do you think now that it's clearer?
On l'a jamais revu, hein, Natasha d'ailleurs.
I don't know, Marty, but I believe Natasha didn't mean to be bad. Not intentionally, at least.
I'm not as sure of that as you are, boss. But we'll find that out pretty soon, I guess.
I think Natasha was very much aware that wherever she goes, disaster follows her. But it's not her fault, and she can't do anything about it.
Really? You don't say. Someone remarkably similar came to mind right now.
You mean me?
Who can even read minds?
Maybe you're right, Marty. Maybe you're right.
Alors, Lapinou, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis. You weren't awake all night because of us, were ya?
I've never been this excited, Sonny. Seriously, it is a great honor to be part of the team. What is it?
You, Lewis. You don't stutter anymore.
What?
Just now, you didn't stutter. Not even a little.
Oh. I must be exhausted. It happens sometimes.
And it's back.
So, thanks again, Lewis. You always get us out of trouble.
Come on, boys. Don't even mention it. It is me who is grateful to be a part of an adventure of the Chicken Police.
Maybe the last one, too.
Hey, Sonny. Don't spoil his mood. He's so cute.
Pardon?
Nothing. Did you forget anything?
No, I just thought I'd take a look. Might be the last time I see it.
You becoming sentimental?
Who knows? Maybe I am.
Oh, that's cute.
Should I say it?
I know, Sonny. I can still get out.
But you won't.
On the beak.
Thanks, pal.
Forget about it. I'd be bored to death otherwise.
Est-ce qu'il y a des nouveaux trucs à faire ici? Non. Hein. Y a rien qu'à popper dans le tiroir. Hein. Première fois qu'on voit l'environnement de jour, tiens. Rigolo. Alors. Tiens, est-ce qu'ils ont aménagé un petit peu?
So, we're looking for more evidence?
Ils ont embarqué le
No, I
cadavre là
was just
depuis.
thinking we could take another look. You know.
Okay, sure.
Don't even ask, Marty.
You're really becoming sentimental.
One more word and I swear I'm...
Yep, I'm gonna shut it.
Donc revenons là où nous avons trouvé le cadavre. Hein.
You don't want to go in there just like that.
I hope you're just messing with me, Marty.
Of course I'm messing
Cadavre
with
qui a
you. Let's
lancé
get
l'enquête.
inside there and see how much the boys have messed up the place. You know,
Cadavre qui
Sonny,
n'est plus là,
when we entered
forcément.
the room and saw the girl,
Deborah.
Ah oui, Florian, encore un jeu où il y a une Déborah. Hein. Bon, sauf qu'elle elle est morte. Et du coup, c'est ça qui lance l'enquête.
yeah, her body. I called you every name in the book inside my head. I just had enough, you know? I wanted to quit.
What kept you with me? Was it just curiosity?
Bah, dans Sleeping Dogs, il y a une Déborah. Non, c'est pas une fameuse Déborah qui a lancé un peu l'arrivée d'un symbole sur le chat. Comment ça, c'était pas Déborah?
No. I just wanted to see your downfall, boss. I wanted to be there when you met your end, get humiliated or even shot.
Wow. Well, thanks for your honesty, Marty.
But then everything changed on the ship.
On the ship? Why there?
I don't know. Being tied up with you, waiting for certain death. I know I lashed out at you, but in truth,
Hein,
I
tu vas
felt
mener
there was
l'enquête.
no place I'd rather be.
I think I do, Marty. I think I do.
So, I guess there's nowhere to go but forward, huh?
Nothing left to do but kill a rat. As the Chicken Police.
For the last time?
For the last clucking time, partner.
Swear?
I swear.
All right. Let's hit the road.
Ombre du passé. T'es d'accord qu'il n'y a rien à ramasser ici, hein? Let's go Tsunsu. Pourquoi t'as créé une nouvelle commande? Il s'amuse comme il peut. Ah, on peut retourner chez Boubo. Ah, on peut retourner partout en fait. Ah non, pas partout. Est-ce qu'il est rentré chez lui
You know, Sonny, few places are as cozy as the hot
On va
dog
revisiter un
at
petit peu les
dawn.
lieux, comme ça tu vas voir les personnages qu'on a pu
You
croiser
have a
pendant le jeu.
point.
The silence, the fog, the sunshine slowly devouring
C'est
the
marrant de
sleeping
revoir
city.
les environnements de jour du coup.
Yeah, the Cobbler District has its own distinctive aroma, that's for sure. But wait, do you smell that?
C'est la commande des combats de coq de Sleeping Dogs. Ah bon? Comment ça, dog? Ah là là.
Ah, it seems Zip is ready with the first batch
Ah,
of
il est
coffee.
revenu, Zip.
That's waiting only for us, my friend.
Ah, Zip. Oh, l'homme mouche n'est plus là. Il n'y a plus l'homme mouche. Alors tu vois là à l'horizon, c'est la ruche. Du coup, c'est un quartier de Cloville. Donc Cloville, c'est la ville dans laquelle on évolue. On n'a pas visité dans le jeu. Et en fait, c'est le quartier des insectes.
Roachtown stirring.
Cafard City.
Thank the gods we're not going to be here when it's fully awake.
I think the buzzing of the hive has its own charm, you know?
Yeah, from afar, on a postcard maybe. But for real? Oh, thanks but no thanks.
Cool. Il y avait un homme mouche là ici qui jouait de la guitare, mais il n'est plus là. Il n'est plus là.
Well,
Ah,
he's
Zip.
out. He's brave indeed, or an idiot.
Ah, c'était
They're often
Amanda.
the same, Marty, and you should know.
D'accord. Il y avait un autre jeu où on avait croisé une Amanda, je me souviens plus c'était quoi. Ah, Zip, ce bon vieux Zip.
Hello, Zip. I see they kicked you out.
You know, Sonny. They told me I could stay in there for 48 hours if I wanted.
Well, maybe you should have done that.
Shit, I had enough. Fuck it. You understand? When you interrogated me, you opened my eyes. I don't give a shit about him, about Wessler and his henchmen. Let them come if they want. It's not gonna be easy for them. You can be sure of that.
That's the Zip we know and love.
Thanks, Marty. So, why are you here?
One last coffee before the end.
Are you going to get him?
We don't have a choice, Zip. We're grabbing the rat by the tail. No screwing around. Nope.
Ah, I see Ibben's really got to you.
Just Sonny. I'm like this all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Ce bon vieux Zip. Bah, donc comme ça t'as vu Zip, un petit escroc à la petite semaine qui a ouvert ce bar-restaurant minable d'autoroute. Ordinaire. J'aime les raccoons, mais moi aussi j'aime beaucoup les raccoons. Alors, donc la résidence secondaire, on a vu. On va aller chez Boubo. Bubo. Bubo le hibou, il est là, Bubo. Et ça, c'est sa femme. Oui, je sais, ça peut choquer. Mais ils sont en couple. Ça peut paraître bizarre, mais c'est comme ça. Ah, mais on n'avait pas
I
interagi
remember
avec le
how
piano.
beautifully you played, Ursula.
Incroyable.
Come on, Sonny. You're making me blush. It was a long time ago.
I want to know the details.
Sommes-nous pour juger personne? Ah,
Ursula used to play the piano at a place called the
Ah,
Coconut
Ursula.
Cauldron every weekend. It was a lovely place.
And she was a lovely little thing, too.
Yeah, you said it, Doc.
Oh, boys, enough.
et donc Boubo, bah du coup c'est
How are
un
your secret experiments coming
un
along,
médecin, tu sais, genre un médecin un petit peu de rue quoi. Genre il soigne les bandits comme il soigne les flics de manière anonyme. Voilà.
That's why they call him secret. I see.
Pas de livre de planqué chez lui. Hein. D'accord. Bubo.
Hey, Boobo.
Ah la gueule qu'il a.
Hello, old man.
Is he asleep?
but his eyes are open.
Boobo!
Hey, what is it? I wasn't sleeping.
La surprise va être incroyable, enfin pour Wisdek et moi, tout du moins. Oh là là.
You were
J'ai vraiment peur
something.
comme ces conneries là.
What the hell are you doing here, chickens?
Sonny wanted to say hi before he suffers an unpleasant death of
Ah.
poisoning later tonight.
Would you shut the clock up, Marty? You're not funny.
I am a little bit.
You're going to Wessler's, huh?
Bingo. We're gonna put an end to this madness.
Ooh. Or you're stirring up an even bigger madness, am I right?
Sur une échelle de 1 à 10, à quel point c'est chiant si on se fait ban une semaine? Ah, si c'est juste une semaine, ça permet de prendre des vacances pour la chaîne, hein, mais bon. C'est quand même un peu chiant.
Well, that's always a possibility.
En fait, c'est chiant si on est au milieu d'un jeu, quoi.
Get yourself killed for all I care, but don't come here covered in blood, because I'm not gonna open the door for you, I swear.
Oh, thanks for the support.
Je
old
prends note.
Oh,
fuck.
Don't mention it, you old gizzard.
Ah, on va avoir des
No
celui-là.
hard feelings?
What can I say, boys? I have a big, soft heart.
You sure do, Ursula.
Un
You
nounours.
like a nice hot cup of tea?
No thanks. We just came to say goodbye.
Why? You going somewhere? Traveling?
No, we're just visiting a nice place in the city.
Sonny's gonna die.
Shut up, Marty.
So it's a case. Well, be careful, boys. And I'm sorry I snapped at you the last time.
You don't need to say that, Ursula. We deserved it.
You're a good boy, Sonny. And Marty's a downright saint.
Oh, come on, Ursula. Stop that.
Bah, il reste plus qu'à aller au kiosque. Là, on l'a fait, le kiosque de Mulen, hein, je crois. Que tu puisses voir.
Well, if we have anything else to ask the old beaver, this is the last chance.
Hey,
Ah.
don't steal my stuff.
Just learning from the
Oncle
best.
Give
Mulen.
you some advice. Don't.
Regarde-moi ça, Père Castor. Il est là, Père Castor. Ah, on peut lui poser plein de questions en plus.
Hey, old man. Sun's not even up yet, and you're already open?
You know what's my secret, sonny boy?
What?
I never close.
That clever.
How can I help you, lads? I see you're gone somewhere.
Well, Sonny's going to die. I'm just wrapping up a delicate case.
So, you'll be off to the Westler residency then?
You're sharp, old beaver.
Well, me dear lads, I'm glad I got to know you.
Hey, don't you start too.
That I'm just kidding.
Père Castor.
Does the name Albert mean anything to you?
I know multiple Alberts, sonny. Which one do you mean?
Albert Wessler.
I see you're in a funny mood, sonny boy.
I'm not joking, Mullen, but I'm surprised there's something I know and you don't.
And who is this Albert anyway? Ibn Wessler's hidden son, maybe?
Even better, my friend. His secret
Ah,
twin brother.
on lui apprend quelque chose.
Oh, you've walked into trouble there.
I was hoping you could tell me something useful about him.
I can, sonny boy. Avoid him. Avoid the whole Wessler family. Those who happen upon secrets that deep sink without a trace.
Well, I used to be a professional swimmer. Didn't you know?
No, I didn't.
I lied. What do you know about that asylum? What's it called?
Since there's only one of those around Clawville, I know which one you mean, sonny. It's an ancient mansion, easily around 100 years old for sure. Or more. Well, what do you want to know about it anyway?
We actually just got out of there.
That explains everything.
Seriously, what do you know about it?
The place is self-sufficient in theory, but in reality, the Crown maintains it. No one knows the exact reason why, but according to gossip, they used to keep someone in there. Someone who was either part of the royal family or just very close to the fire. But who knows? Maybe it's just a legend.
Well, they say we're legends too, and we're standing right in front of you. Am I right?
What can I say then? This whole city is full of legends.
This Albert, he had to paint a picture of Natasha at his brother's request.
Let me guess. He fell in love with her.
Yeah, classic, huh? Then he killed his brother and took his place.
Yeah, well, that's a classic too. So, you're telling me who goes by Ibn Wessler is not really Ibn Wessler?
Exactly. He's Albert, a dangerous lunatic with multiple personality disorder.
Ha ha, lads! I guess that Miss Marble's going to write another one of those novels about this.
Ah bah oui, je pense.
You mean Meredith? Oh, that's just what we need.
Once you sold your soul, it's too late to cry about it, sonny boy.
That's what I keep telling him.
Do you know Dr. Quetzal?
Do you mean Professor
Vraiment, j'adore les
Quetzalcoatlus?
personnages.
Yeah, now you laugh at this.
Les personnages,
We went to
l'écriture des
university
dialogues, le
together.
doublage.
You did what?
Vraiment incroyable ce jeu.
Do I not look the type to you?
No, well, I didn't mean that. I just didn't know you went to university.
I studied psychology, sonny. Only I forgot to graduate. That's when my father died.
So that's why you know the animals so well.
No, I know them well because I have a newspaper stand and I talk to hundreds of animals each day. And I listen to the everyday problems of almost all of them. There's no better lesson in animal studies.
You surprise me every time, old beaver. And what do you know about him? Can he be trusted?
You're afraid he screwed you? He looks like a terribly dishonest snake, but don't let your prejudices overshadow what your wattle tells you. Quetzal's one of the kindest-hearted and most honest animals I've ever known.
That's good to know, Uncle Mullen. Or rather, Professor Mullen.
Hey, don't get cocky with me, little chickie.
Ah,
What do you know about the Wessler Mansion, Uncle Mullen?
That if you're about to go there, bring a tank with you. Or
Dangerous, you mean?
dangerous? It's a fortress, so it has giant walls, watchtowers, and of course, Wessler's hired thugs are waiting for you there.
Yeah, sounds great.
It's a beautiful place, I must admit. At least you'll kick the bucket with mouths hanging open in wonder.
That's something.
Good
Rassurant.
attitude, my lad. Keep it.
Ok, bon bah du coup on peut y aller. Hein. Allez.
The sun was shining, and all the ducks were in a row. I felt ready. The pieces of the grand puzzle were laid out on the table. I just needed to piece them all together. A revealing glance or a careless word, and I'd have the answer. I knew we were in the right place. I knew it was nearly over. Was Natasha really just a victim? Or did she know everything? Was she controlling the puppets from behind the curtain? Well, if you don't know where to go, go straight ahead. What could possibly go wrong?
Déjà beaucoup de jeux de mots dans la trad, et la VO encore plus de jeux de mots, ouais. On a constaté avec Tsum la dernière
Here
fois.
I am, Natasha. I hope
Ah, il y a
you're
des
waiting
couleurs
for
ici.
me.
Furry gods. I knew he was rich, but wow.
Half the city is in his hands, Marty, and half the Council of 12.
Parce que oui, on t'explique, en fait, on te dit brièvement au début du jeu que l'absence de couleurs, en fait, ça fait partie de la diégèse de l'univers. Et c'est propre à Cloville en fait. Et qu'avant il y a eu des couleurs et d'un coup, on ne sait pas pourquoi les couleurs ont disparu. Donc c'est dans la diégèse du jeu. Le fait que les couleurs ne soient plus présentes sauf rare exception et sauf à certains endroits de la ville. Voilà.
I think we'll catch a big fish today.
Don't count your chickens. I'm sure Wessler's expecting us. And Natasha too, I hope.
You hope?
If I'm right, she could be our only chance of survival.
Lovely prospects, huh?
I've had worse.
Really?
Sympa là avec le vert qui ressort un peu là.
What the hell is it? Water tower? Turret? A frickin' lighthouse?
I think it's a monument to an enormous ego, Marty.
Well, anyone who builds a tower this big must be trying to compensate for something.
Or he just has too much dough.
Ah, souvent les riches c'est qu'ils ont trop de fric.
Quite the steed, isn't it?
Seems nowadays organized crime pays well in Clawville.
Are you surprised? The chicken police retired.
Well, they say the team's back together again.
Nah, that's impossible.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Is this a mansion? Or a grand palace?
Or a small city.
Well, if it comes to hide and seek, Old Westler will have an advantage.
A serious advantage.
Oh, stylé. Stylé le chevalier rat là.
Huh, one of Westler's ancestors, maybe.
Westler's ancestors were poor cobblers. More likely, this represents what he thinks of himself.
I wonder how chivalry is compatible with organized crime.
Ibn was planning to leave the underworld.
When his twin brother tore out his tongue, poked out his eye, killed him, and took his place?
Yeah.
La faute a pas de chance, comme on dit. La faute a pas de chance. Ah, il y a la serre.
This place has its own greenhouse. What do you think's inside?
100% humidity and unbearable heat.
Not like that. Could they be growing rarities in there?
Or maybe some chicken-eating giant flower monsters.
What? Oh, you just made that up, right? Nah, I'm...
On a tout vu. Il reste plus que l'entrée à voir. Et ben il reste plus que l'entrée à voir. Et ben, bien voyons entrer. Ah!
Not so fast, chickens.
Gabriel le lynx. Donc c'est lui et son pote là qui ont essayé de nous tirer dessus là. Son pote qui a un... il me semble que c'est lui là qui a un accent français incroyable.
Please excuse my partner.
Voilà.
He didn't mean to be rude, it's just his terrible habits. As you may already know.
Cet accent. Extraordinaire. Je veux lui parler à lui.
Ah, look what the cat dragged in.
Funny, I don't recognize them.
Well, maybe if they had some guns with them?
Oh yeah, now I remember. The two suckers in the luxury van you shot to pieces. Twice.
Exactly.
What are you doing here, chickens? Would you like us to finish what we started?
We'd love to have fun with you boys, but we need to talk to your boss. And while we're at it, the lady of the house is also expecting us.
Is that so?
Yeah, that's so horny.
In that case, I guess there's no reason for us to waste your precious time. Is that right, Gabriel?
Get the hell out of our sight while there are still feathers on your skin, chickens.
Lui, son accent russe incroyable. Les mafieux là.
Easy, pal. We're not even here anymore. Until next time, boys.
Ils sont incroyables ces deux-là. Ok. La gueule qu'il a. Oh, il est tout mignon. Gousi, gousi, gousi.
This must lead to Westler and Natasha's suite.
Let's get the big guns out and kick the door down.
No need for that, Marty. We'll wait until they invite us in, like real gentlemen. Then maybe we'll need the guns. But I hope it won't come to that.
Oh, my trigger finger's itching, Sonny. Someone's gotta pay.
Relax, Marty. Someone is gonna pay.
Yeah, just don't let it be us.
Ah, la corneille. Olivia. Olivia la corneille, qu'est-ce qui est fou là? Oh.
This place is incredible, but it kinda gives me the creeps.
Because you know what lies behind the beauty.
With Natasha, too?
I haven't decided yet.
C'est vrai que c'est beau, hein. La vache. Très très beau.
It's like the vegetation's trying to suffocate these beautiful walls.
Maybe it will. Maybe in 100 years, nothing will be here but plants. An endless, planet-sized jungle.
That's quite a dark thought.
Yeah, it is.
Alors, Olivia.
Huh. I wasn't expecting to see Olivia here.
Donc apparemment, Marty et Olivia auraient eu une
She's
relation.
real close to Westler. But how much does she know?
Much more than me, I guess.
That wouldn't be hard.
Ah, what a pleasant surprise. Hello, Olivia. Sweetie.
Get lost.
Oula.
What did you say, ma'am?
Turn around and get the hell out of here now. if you want to make it out with feathers intact.
Come on, Olivia. Don't worry about us. We know what we're doing.
Martin,
Huh?
don't you get it? You have to get out of here or you'll be in danger, and also her.
Do you mean Natasha? Please calm down, miss. We have to talk to Mr. Wessler and Miss Katsenko.
You really don't understand, do you?
Oh.
What do they not understand, Olivia?
Ah, cet accent, elle aussi, là. Ah, Natasha.
So, what is it exactly that our guests don't understand?
I was trying to tell the detectives that Mr. Wessler's very tired and doesn't welcome guests this early. He gets rather irate if he's being disturbed at this hour.
I'm sure Mr. Featherland and Mr. McChicken can wait here while Ibn refreshes himself. I'll entertain them until then.
Thank you, Miss Katsenko.
Please, Sonny. I thought we've already discussed this. Call me Natasha.
Please, Natasha, can we talk to you in private?
Martin? It's all right, Olivia. These gentlemen are my friends.
Yes, Miss Katsenko.
Ok, qu'on peut plus lui parler là.
To warn you.
Ah.
Thanks, Olivia?
You know, I had a dream before we came here. I saw Natasha with a bloody mouth and red claws.
And? What does that tell you?
I don't know, Marty. I admit it. I haven't been this on edge for a long
Ah, je suis en train de me
time.
poser la question moi aussi si Natasha serait pas au
I'm
courant
just
de tout.
angry. Truth is, I'm not entirely sure why.
Your sense of justice kicking in?
More like my sense of don't fuck with the chicken police.
The truth is, Ibn isn't really in a good shape today, gentlemen. He's rather furious. Are you sure this can't wait?
You commissioned us, Natasha, and we barely escaped with our combs intact.
So you know who left the threats?
Oh, we know much more than that, Natasha. We even know where you used to work. We talked to Madame Zavas.
Wild gods.
Mais en fait, c'est une ancienne employée de la maison close de Madame Zaevas. Et employée de maison close en tant que... voilà.
Why didn't you tell us?
Do you think it's easy for a woman to talk about such things, that she used to be
Ah voilà.
an escort?
Along with Molly?
So you know.
Yeah, I know, Natasha. I also know all of this was a trap.
Believe me, I tried to handle things the least painfully I could. You weren't even supposed to know.
A lot shouldn't have happened. Poor Deborah shouldn't have had to die.
Dear sweet Deborah,
Cold, stiff Deborah.
please don't say that.
A price worth paying?
You cannot think I had anything to do with that. You just cannot.
I don't know, Natasha.
Please, Sonny, tell me, what is going on?
You have to know, right?
Please.
Excuse me for making you wait,
Ah.
detectives. I'm having a rough morning after a long night.
Is that so? Our night was also kinda long.
To put it mildly.
I was just telling the gentlemen that you were exhausted, my dear, and they should come back another time. I'll escort them out.
Oh, honey, no need for that. My door's always open to the legendary chicken police. Please, come on in, guys. Let's talk in my room.
Then this way, please.
You just stay here, my darling. I'm sure our conversation will bore you to death. Please, go and refresh yourself or tell Olivia to go make some coffee.
Yes, dear. Whatever you like.
Please, follow me, gents.
Lead on, Wessler. So long, sweetheart.
Goodbye.
Bah go. Oh là. Ah, le fameux tableau. Oh, la musique. Ah! Farewell from Falls. Ok. Trouver un autre roman, dis donc. Le design, quoi. Ordinaire.
This estate is rather impressive, Mr. Wessler.
Well, thank you.
I suppose it took years and years of cumbersome work to build it.
Yeah. As you say, Mr. Featherland, I'm rather proud of it.
You should be. Whoever built this place has a reason to be proud of himself.
Are you trying to say something?
No, no, just thinking aloud. Impressive bed. Looks cozy.
Sure is better than a cell.
That's right, Marty.
I'm not sure I understand, gentlemen.
We'll see about that.
Ah, il y a un flingue.
Yeah. Would you like a drink? This is a rather rare brandy. It lifts the spirits, if I may be so, poetic.
Really. Tempting, but I need to keep a clear head, Mr. Wessler.
Yeah, I've heard you don't despise a good vintage.
And I've heard you don't despise murder, Wessler. By the way, you've heard right. But everything has its place and time. Drinks, guns, dead bodies, and the truth.
Yeah, I see you're in a poetic mood as well.
More like prophetic.
And that's not a good sign.
Yeah. Are you trying to intimidate me?
No, that's not how we do business. We're gentlemen.
I really hope so.
Do you keep a revolver in your bedroom?
Yeah, a bad habit. One who has a lot to lose has a lot to fear.
I agree.
Il n'y a rien d'autre, hein. Il n'y a rien d'autre. Bon, bah le tableau, puis après on va lui parler. Hein. Ah ah! Là, le petit passage, le petit endroit découpé, c'est le morceau qu'on a.
This painting.
It's beautiful and rather provocative. Almost makes my comb stand up.
Après se dresser la crête. De quoi il parle là, hein? C'est, hein? Mais dis donc.
I'm not surprised.
But the corner is missing.
You're right, Sonny. You're quite the observer.
Well, yeah, this painting's unfortunately damaged. I don't know where the missing piece could be.
Bah, il est dans ma poche en fait. Je sais très bien de quoi
You
il
don't
parle.
know. Well, if you're interested, we know exactly where it is.
Really?
Really. It's here with us.
Ah,
An insignificant little piece, isn't it? But there's an exciting cat scratch on it.
More like a rat scratch, because it's a monogram.
A.W.
That's...
Albert Wessler. He's a great painter. I don't know if you've heard of him.
ah, j'adore comment c'est amené. Bon, le sujet est amené sur la table, c'est tellement bien écrit.
Enough. Out with it already. What are you trying to say?
Avec la
I have no
musique.
time for your childish charades.
Easy, Wessler. We'll get to that in a bit.
Doudou. Allez, c'est l'heure de te mettre à table, copain.
Interesting. Now that I know who he really is, he doesn't even resemble Ibn Wessler.
So, what do you want to know? I've heard you've been through a rather eventful few days.
Oh, you have rather good informants.
Yeah, that's true. I should tell you, I see and hear everything that happens in the city. And you are exceptionally resilient. No offense.
None taken. But tell me, are we going to flatter each other for a long time, or are we...
Straight to the point. I like it. Yeah, so let's continue like that, shall we?
Oh, forgive us. Our moral compass has been confused a little bit after someone tried to kill us several times in the last 48 hours. With fire, with machine guns. I could go on.
And while we're at it, you could answer some of our questions. If you've nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
And then we'll just leave you alone.
All right. I'll go along with your childish little game. I would have had a long and tedious day ahead of me anyway. So, can we start?
With pleasure, Mr. Wessler. I have no idea what she sees in you, but Natasha's been seriously worried about you.
Yeah, she, really worries more than usual, but it's understandable. Those disgusting messages.
Disgusting, all right. Do you know why that word exactly? Why did they write that specific word everywhere?
Since you've been to the Nile, I guess you know the answer to your question.
Didn't it bother you, Wessler? What Natasha used to do? Surely it must have upset you.
Why? Did it upset you when you discovered your wife did the same thing?
Ouh.
What did you just say?
What did you think, chicken? That I didn't know? Yeah, don't make me laugh. I know about everyone who ever set foot in that place. I can even tell you who Molly's regulars were, if you're interested.
Ah oui, il est... Lui aussi, hein. Il va droit au but. Hein.
You son of a bitch.
Sonny, don't.
Yes, detective?
Not yet.
You're right, Marty. It's not worth it.
You're funny, you know that?
About the painting.
Yeah. My brother Albert made it. He's a great talent, but, still, he's a rather troubled individual.
Such self-criticism.
What did you say?
My partner means that you and your brother are very much alike. Identical twins, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed. But, what does that have to do with the painting?
We'll get to that. Don't worry, Mr. Wessler. So Albert made the painting at your request, is that right? And the one that's in Natasha's room in the Tsar, too.
Yeah, exactly. Is that a crime?
No, it's not a crime in itself. This picture, it's rather strange, you know?
Why do you think so? It's just me, Natasha, and my brother.
The photo doesn't tell much in itself, yes. But if you already have the right information, suddenly it starts to talk.
Really?
He fell in love with her, didn't he?
Who do you mean?
Albert, of course. He fell in love with Natasha. All those sessions while he was painting the pictures. Were you there every time?
You mean, me?
You.
No, I mean, while Albert was painting, yeah, but I wasn't there all the time.
And do you think he could have fallen in love with Natasha? That's why he escaped? What do you think happened to him? Who tore out his tongue?
I have no idea.
Il est en train de
Did
perdre au pied.
Natasha know about what happened to your brother?
No, of course not.
Do you love beautiful things, Wessler?
Why do you ask that? Yeah.
You were afraid of losing her, weren't you? To him.
Stop. Enough. If you want to ask something, ask clearly. Don't play with me. You understand?
We're just doing our job.
Then do it clearly. And quickly. Yeah, I'm really starting to lose my patience.
On va passer à l'interrogatoire. Hein.
We visited Albert's cell and found something he seems to have forgotten to take with him in his great hurry.
That's a big mistake.
A classic, even.
What the hell are you babbling about?
This is Albert Wessler's love letter to Natasha.
More like a confession.
In which he tells her he's capable of doing anything for her.
Yeah, this letter doesn't prove anything at all. Albert is mad. Insane. He's not, normal. No one would believe his word, don't you understand?
But they believe yours, right? Because you're not Albert Wessler. You're Hobart Ibn Wessler, aren't you? How good it feels to be in his skin.
How dare you?
Just tell him, Sonny. I'm getting tired of this.
You're just a cheap fake, Albert. You couldn't follow in your brother's footsteps even if you wanted to. No matter how hard you tried, you couldn't get Natasha either. And
What did you just say?
she hates you, doesn't she? She doesn't know. She doesn't understand why. But she hates you. It's instinctive.
Yeah, what do you know? What could you possibly know about suffering and loneliness and the darkness? What could you know about hate, huh?
Allez, off. Interrogatoire. Voilà.
Albert is an imposter. He's not who he says he is, and might not even know who he really is. I have to concentrate on this first, to soften him up. And to avoid us being shot in the gizzard, of course.
Une balle dans le gésier. Ah oui. Imposteur.
What were you thinking, Albert? How long did you think you could keep it up?
Until the end of my life, if needs. Yeah, I cared about nothing except for her to love me. Not for who Ibn was, but for who I am.
Why did you think that would happen? Everybody noticed the change.
Yeah, I knew it would be hard, Santino. But I also knew animals see what they want to see. I didn't have to behave like Ibn. They only had to believe I'm him.
Alors, quand vous décidez de prendre la place de votre frère, vous vouliez mettre tout le monde sur votre coupe, non?
Why did you decide to take your brother's place?
Yeah, as you're curious, from the moment I laid eyes on Natasha for the first time. But I had to convince myself that this was the only way.
You've never talked about your feelings for Natasha with your brother.
Ah
Are you
non.
insane? Yeah, Ibn would have had me killed immediately. And no one would ever know.
So instead, you've done the same thing, haven't you? What a comfortable excuse.
C'est vrai.
Comfortable? Do you think all of this was just some kind of cruel game for me? I had to destroy the person I loved and respected the most.
Cry me a river.
Yeah, you know, there's only a thin, fragile membrane between love and hate. If anything touches it, it tears immediately. You felt like this before, haven't you? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes.
You can analyze me until the sun goes down, Wessler. But you won't get far with that.
Yeah, evasive answer. So I'm right.
Vous voulez mettre tout le monde sous votre coupe. On est déjà venu à croire que vous étiez Ibn Wessler. Pourquoi mutiler Ibn? Pourquoi pas juste l'avoir tué tout de suite? Imposteur manipulateur cruel. On doit mettre l'accent sur le fait qu'apparemment il serait... Il n'est pas celui qu'il prétend être et peut-être même qu'il ne sait même pas qui il est vraiment. On va lui demander... Être déjà venu à croire que vous étiez
Did you ever
Ibn.
believe that you were Ibn Wessler?
Did I ever believe? I still do. I believed it all along. Don't
Voilà.
you get it? I am Ibn Wessler.
And also, Albert Wessler.
I see you're starting to understand.
Donc vous vous sentez désormais étant deux
So
personnes à
you
la fois.
feel you're two people at the same time. Even...
Does it sound crazy? Maybe it is. But Ibn lives inside me. Sometimes he's even stronger than Albert ever was.
Il a totalement
Do
vrillé.
you think you can avoid the gas chamber with this, Albert?
I don't have to avoid anything, Sonny. You and your friend, will never leave this place. It's better if you start getting used to the thought.
You're not the cold-blooded killer you'd like to think you are.
Yeah, do you think so? Try me, detective.
De sa place est heureux pour toujours. Vous auriez fait quoi si Natasha avait découvert la vérité? Vous l'auriez tué aussi? Bon, on va lui poser ça, comme ça il va réaliser que c'est peut-être pas un tueur de sang-froid, parce qu'il l'aurait pas tué, elle. Il en est fou amoureux.
What would you have done if Natasha found out? Kill her too?
You know what? Maybe yeah. Maybe I would have ended myself too.
Narcissistic pricks like you never commit suicide, Albert.
Yeah. Are you sure you want to insult someone who's pointing a revolver at your stomach, detective?
Ah! Moins 50, ah merde!
That was your plan. Take his place and live happily ever after.
Elle a la main qui tremble, hein.
Why? Isn't it good enough of a plan, Mr. Featherland? It was perfect, even in its imperfection.
Which is?
Ibn's ghost.
Is His what?
Please don't take it literally, Mr. Chicken. I'm not talking about spirits. When Ibn died, I didn't just take his place, but also his role. He himself, his essence, if you will. Yeah, though I guess that's too much for you to understand.
So you mean Ibn's here with us even now?
He was here all along. Don't you get it? I am Hobart Ibn Wessler.
I must get serious, because looking at the gun in Wessler's trembling hand, I'm afraid I don't have much time. Albert is a cruel psychopath, but maybe I can turn that cruelty against him.
On va le pousser au suicide.
When was the moment you decided to kill him, Albert?
When I drew the last stroke on that fatal painting, Mr. Featherland. When I glanced at it for the last time, and then at Natasha, who was shivering under the weight of my gaze.
You simply fell in love with her? End of story?
Not in the slightest, Mr. Featherland. Love is, just chemistry. What I felt was more than that.
Everybody thinks that, Albert, but we all feel the same. We're just fools.
No, Mr. Featherland, not at all. At that moment, I knew what I was gonna do. I knew that the world was coming to an end if I didn't do it. It implodes on itself and ceases to exist. I couldn't let that happen. I couldn't.
Let him have her, right? You simply wanted her for yourself.
I wanted her for ourselves, Sonny. I was him by then. He just didn't know it yet.
Ah, je crois qu'il ne reste plus le temps. Albert est un psychopathe cruel, donc voilà, mais je peux peut-être retourner sa cruauté contre lui-même. Oh là là, alors là... Vous savez que vous êtes une pâle copie, c'est quand même assez violent. J'ai envie de tenter la dernière. Allez.
You enjoyed leading everyone by the nose, didn't you?
Do you think this was just some megalomaniac power play on my part? Some kind of race with myself?
Oops.
Don't expect me to feel sorry for you.
On the contrary, Sonny. Your kind can't even comprehend what I've been through. That way, you can't understand the reasons behind my decisions either.
You know what? Maybe it's better this way. I'll sleep better, that's for sure.
If you're going to sleep, that will be your big sleep, chicken.
Are you so sure about that, Wessler?
Ah si, c'est bon.
If you loved Natasha so much,
Vu que plus 5, donc à mon avis c'était pas la meilleure réponse à apporter, mais c'était pas une mauvaise réponse.
We lie the most to those we truly love, Santino. Isn't that right?
It shouldn't be that way.
You mean your wife, don't you? See? That's how it goes. We lie because we don't want to cause even more hurt.
What you did, Wessler, is nothing like Molly or me. What you did was out of simple selfishness and cowardice.
Watch what you're spitting out that dirty beak of yours, Santino.
I'm not afraid of you, Wessler. You'd better get that into your small little rat brain.
Classic mistake, Mr. Featherland.
I'm very close to breaking him. But if I'm too hard on him, I could quickly be signing my death warrant. It's time to dig a little bit deeper and uncover Wessler's wounds.
Ah mais vraiment, la gueule de face, elle est extraordinaire à Sony. Hein. Il a une gueule, ça fait peur. Alors, temps de creuser un peu plus, découvrir les blessures de Wessler. C'est un peu violent ça quand même. C'est un peu violent ça quand même. Si vous aviez encore des tripes, vous pointerez cette arme sur votre propre tête. Moins 40. Non mais ça je pense que c'est scénarisé en fait, la chute là juste après, ce moment-là.
Natasha was kind to you, right? Too kind.
Vu que j'avais pas le choix, c'était forcément cette réponse-là.
Natasha was simply amazing, gentle, kind, lively, but still so distant.
You're telling me.
It's like she was from another world. A world where everything's full of charm and grace and everything's fragile and delicate. Do you understand?
I think I do, yeah.
I knew Albert's touch would harm her. Albert is rough. Albert can't keep such a delicate thing in his arms.
That's why you had to become Ibn, am I right?
I didn't take Ibn's place, Mr. Featherland. I became one with him, can't you see? It's the only way I could comprehend and accept the miracle that was Natasha.
Was?
I think I've corrupted her. She's not that gentle and pure creature I painted on the canvas anymore. I ruined her. She became rotten under my hands.
Aïe.
Maybe it's not too late, Albert. Tell her the truth and end this.
No. You can't understand this. She can't either. I killed Ibn, but he also killed me. Can't you see? We're nothing without each other.
You can't be two people at the same time, Albert. Nobody can bear the weight of the sins of two souls.
Ibn loved her. I admired her. Ibn was crazy about her. I've been crazy for a long time. Ibn idolized her, and I hated her. And if there's anything more blind, more devoted, more extreme, and more true than love, it could only be hate, Mr. Featherland. It's an endlessly exciting, thrilling, and warm feeling. And infinitely red. Just like...
You know you're not going to be able to go through with it, right? That you won't be able to carry the weight. But you still did it. Why?
Yeah, if I didn't kill him and become one with him, Albert would have died, Mr. Featherland.
And the threats? Which one of you was that? Albert or Ibn? Who wrote them? And which one of you killed Deborah?
In my world, Ibn and I are inseparable. Just like love and hate are one and the same. And I hate Natasha so much that I could destroy myself along with her, just so she would die with me. Are you familiar with this feeling, Mr. Featherland?
More than life itself.
You see? We're not so different after all.
You and I have nothing in common, Wessler. You know why?
Why, Mr. Featherland?
Because if I were in your shoes, I would have pulled the trigger a long time ago.
Goodbye, Sonny.
So long, Albert.
Oh là. Ah oui, quand même. La première fois de son frère et tente de régler les derniers détails. On l'attrape pas, bah non, il sera peut-être trop tard. Aïe, 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 aïe. Bon, on va voir. Hein. Il va se tirer une balle. Alors, c'est notre pote qui l'a buté. Ou alors c'est... voilà, c'est ça. Natasha.
So, you heard everything.
La mise en scène est incroyable, elle fait que sur des animaux, je rentre pas dedans.
I heard everything.
Mais moi j'aime bien les univers anthropomorphiques.
I'm sorry you had to find out like this.
And thank you. If it weren't for you...
Yes, both of you would be dead, I know. But believe me, I still thought carefully before firing.
Ouais, j'ai pris sur la fin aussi.
About who to target.
You know, I truly loved Ibn.
But this man wasn't him. You felt it, didn't you?
Maybe I even knew it. I don't know. But I still can't believe it.
It won't be easy to process.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this. And regarding Molly,
The cops. But how?
I have no idea, Marty.
Do not look at me. I did not call them.
Olivia?
Don't worry, Natasha. They won't lay a finger on you. I promise.
Please, Sonny. You don't need to worry about me.
I don't want to be rude, Sonny, but I'm more worried about us than her. Hello, boss.
Le chef, il est là. Le chef, il est là. Et par contre, que fait la secrétaire ici, je ne sais pas.
Hello, boys. Before you say anything, we can explain.
No need for that, Santino. Monica already told me everything.
Incroyable la tête du chef.
Monica?
Hey, boys. What were you thinking? That I would just let you get killed without
Ça,
saying goodbye?
j'espère qu'on va voir Bosco, parce que Bosco, il a une gueule incroyable aussi.
Thanks, Mon. Should we say we owe you one?
You know already, boys. Shoes are my weakness.
Hey, mine too.
Of all that's furry, we don't want to hear that. And boys,
Yes, boss.
don't believe you'll get away with it so easily. I want a report on my desk from both of you with all the details. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It'll all make sense, believe us. Right after I figure out myself what the hell just happened.
What Marty's trying to tell you is that we had good reason to investigate outside the law, but we're sorry.
What happened to you, Sonny? You're sorry? Did you hit your head?
Why does everybody keep asking that?
Why indeed?
So can we go now, boss? Without getting handcuffed?
Don't give me ideas, Santino.
Thanks, boss.
Est-ce que... il est là, lui. Est-ce que Bosco est là? Il est pas là, Bosco? Ah, Bosco. Ah, cette tête. Putain, Bosco.
You're a good boy, Bosco. Nice work.
T'es un coup de boy, il lui a dit.
You know, folks, somebody's gotta take care of the real police work while you're tearing up the city.
Sorry for the mess, Bosco, but you know us.
Yeah, unfortunately,
How did you catch them? After the gunshot, I was sure these two would show up. They have a habit of doing that.
They were already in cuffs before then, Sonny. We had the house surrounded. If you could have hung on, maybe nobody would have died.
Hey, a second longer and it would have been us.
That's your story?
Cluck you sideways, Bosco.
Bosco.
Hey, Olivia.
Marty?
I just, wanted to thank you
For what exactly?
for trying to save us.
I didn't do it only for you, believe me. I loved my job while I had it. Now my employee is dead, so I don't have a job anymore.
I didn't even think of that.
Of course you didn't.
Can I do anything to help?
I think I'll manage. I always do.
On peut leur reparler du coup.
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen?
Gentlemen?
We're honestly very sorry it had to end like this.
Yeah, this peacefully.
For myself, I'm glad, gentlemen. I would have sincerely regretted it if we had to shoot both of you, but unfortunately, that seemed to be the only solution to this,
cet accent.
situation. Fortunately.
Don't think we'll be behind bars for long, chickens. Whistler may be dead, but his empire still won't crumble.
Oh, look at that. He can talk.
In complex sentences, too.
Yeah, or something like that.
Amazing.
Incroyable. Alors... Ah, Timothy. Donc lui, c'est un journaliste.
How the hell did you find your way here, Tim? Always where the trouble is.
Un gros goéland.
Sometimes I think you're the criminal mastermind behind all the dark dealings in this city.
I wish.
I wish too, because then we could legally throw you in jail.
I love your sense of humor, Sonny.
I wasn't joking.
So, where did you get the scoop?
Are you kidding me? The whole city's talking about you. You've left quite the mess behind.
That I admit.
Well, it's a miracle that all of the city's smear sheet journalists aren't here already. Oh, while we're at it, will you give me an exclusive interview?
Clock off, Tim.
Hey!
Va te faire pondre.
So, what now?
I think I should mourn, right?
You should.
But I don't know what to feel anymore, Sonny.
I understand, Natasha. You know, if you need anything,
Yes, I know where to find you.
see you around, sweetheart.
Ma'am?
Goodbye, detectives.
What? Are you waiting for me to change my mind?
No, sir.
Then stop pecking around here.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again, Mon. If not for you, those fur heads would have put holes in us.
No wonder, since you put holes in their boss.
Well, actually, that wasn't us.
Then who was it?
Natasha.
Really? I wouldn't have thought it of her. It's a pleasant surprise.
It was for us too, believe me.
Le colibri. Oui, d'accord, mais comment on se barre d'ici? On n'a pas accès à la map là. Bah, j'ai parlé à tout le monde. Hein. Oui. Et bon, ça d'accord. Manoir. Est-ce vraiment fini?
Look at all these plants. It's like nature's claiming back what's hers.
Yeah, amazing.
Strange how someone so rotten inside, like Wessler, can still dream something so beautiful to surround himself.
Oh ah, mais il est là aussi, lui. Il se fout là, Filmar.
Famous historical figure. How are you?
Not so good.
You know, I've always been fascinated by the Founding War, especially the last great battle between the Alliance and the Swamp clans.
Don't believe the tales they tell about the war, Marty.
Ah, une nouvelle entrée
There's
de
nothing
codex.
glorious or beautiful in it.
And a lot of money, of course.
That too.
Lui aussi, c'est un détective. Hein.
You, what are you doing here?
Un ancien, un vieux de la vieille, quoi.
Just driving around, you know.
Trying to feed your grandpa? So, was it a case? Were you, maybe investigating us?
What can I say, Sonny? Am I busted?
Did someone hire you to follow us?
I just had to keep an eye on you and not get involved. That's all. I admit there were a couple of crazy situations when it was hard not to.
But you managed somehow, right?
A professional's a professional, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. So you won't tell us who hired you, whatever we do?
Unfortunately, I can't, my friend. I made a promise.
You and your promises.
Some people still take them seriously.
You're a real piece of guano. You know that?
Je sais que t'es une belle fiance.
Of course. I've learned everything from you, you old fart.
Qui aurait pu l'engager? Lapinou, peut-être. Pas cher, Lapinou. On va lui poser de questions.
So, here they are,
Ah, bah
ladies
voilà.
and gentlemen.
Je vais juste parler à
The
tout le monde.
Chicken Police, in the flesh.
Damn it, Tim, drop it and cluck off.
Il va te faire pondre. Clock off.
Oh, no, boys. This time, you deserve it.
What the cluck did you say, boss?
Stand up straight and try to look like someone who's glad to be alive.
Yes, sir, we'll try.
Ooh, attention, Chicken Police. Say cheese.
Ah, l'autre avec son chou de gun. Extraordinaire. Ah, les espèces animales présentes dans le jeu, c'est marrant, il les répertorie. Ah non, qui sont pas présentes. Among many others, bah oui. « 2018-2020, 2 ans de développement, c'est... C'est honnête hein, pour un jeu comme ça, 2 ans de développement, c'est même pas mal. Hein. Ah, pas mal, on voit l'évolution des designs là qu'il y a eu. Genre, au début, il serait parti sur des designs pixel art, ça c'est rigolo. Le vrai chat qui a inspiré Natacha. J'espère que la musique n'est pas... hein, ça va pas être sujet à un petit... un petit avertissement. J'ai un gros doute quand même, bah moi aussi. N'hésite pas à parler. Oui, c'est ce qu'on fait, oui. C'est ce que j'essaye de faire. Mais c'est quoi ce gros dindon là? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce gros dindon? Ah, il y a les gens qu'on voit les silhouettes des gens là. On prêtait leur silhouette du coup pour les personnages. Au pire, dans le double skip landing, ouais, ça va être ça, ouais. Dans le double. Bah tiens, on voit les doubleurs. On voit les doubleurs et ça a été doublé à Londres. Et regarde, on voit, dans le jeu on voit des affiches comme ça, des affiches de films, et en fait c'est tiré de vrais films, et donc à côté tu vois l'affiche originale, c'est rigolo. Il y a eu quand même un gros travail de recherche hein, pour nous ramener à cette époque-là. Cette époque vraiment années 60 quoi. Globalement il y a un énorme travail sur tout le jeu. En termes d'ambiance, de musique. Our best friend, Pets. Le nom des animaux de l'équipe de développement, c'est rigolo. Ah, spécial tank, Tim Schafer. Spécial remerciement à Tim Schafer, Hayao Miyazaki, pour Hollow Dream and Nightmare. Shinichiro Watanabe. Ah. Les personnes qui les ont inspirés. THQ Nordic Division, sérieux? Bon. To be continued, bah j'espère. Moi, ils m'ont vendu du rêve pour une suite. Hein.
Natasha.
You were expecting me, weren't you?
I wouldn't say that, but I'm not surprised.
I just wanted to talk to you.
About what exactly?
You know very well.
What do you think, Natasha? Why didn't she tell me?
Because she loved you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you, she may have never left the place. Perhaps she'd still be there.
Ah, sheep shit.
We used to dream about falling in love with a nice man who comes and saves us someday. A knight in shining armor. You know, like in the fairy tales.
And how did that work out for you?
She fell in love with a good guy. I didn't. I envy her.
I'm not that good guy, Natasha. But if it's any consolation, she could have found him. Maybe she's living with him right now. Somewhere on the other side of the world.
Well, goodbye, Sonny.
So long, sweetheart. Hey, Natasha, you have a light? I've been trying to smoke this sorry-ass cig all day. It's driving me crazy.
Maybe you don't really need it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe.
Citation de Spiegel. Bon, bah c'était très très bien, c'était vraiment très cool. Ah, on peut pas mettre continuer, tiens. Tu termines le jeu, paf, t'es obligé de recommencer depuis le début. La possibilité de continuer. Ah tiens, cinématique secrète. Peut-être une deuxième fin. Une bad ending peut-être. Bah l'ambiance était vraiment cool, ouais. On est d'accord. On a débloqué des concept art. La mort de Sony, ouais, je pense que ça doit être ça, ouais. Tiens, tu vois, c'était ces tableaux-là. Tableaux qui m'ont fait dire que, ah, le Fury, c'est pas mal, en fait. C'est pas mal, le Fury. J'aime bien, regarde. Donc, tu vois, c'est pas des tableaux, en fait, qui peuvent amener au ban, hein, clairement pas. Hein. C'est plus vraiment de l'art qu'autre chose, quand même. Ça, j'aurais vraiment voulu voir, hein. Des hommes poissons. Oh, genre Twitch aime pas. Faut vraiment que ces entreprises arrêtent avec leur puritanisme de merde. Et bah... Voilà. Twitch préfère ça, du coup. J'imagine que ça c'est mieux. Oh il est beau, il est mignon petit chat. Oh là là, oh j'ai les mêmes. On a les mêmes souris à la maison. Pour les chats. Ah voilà, évolution. Ce design était totalement loupé. Ah celui-là il était vraiment... L'évolution entre le début de Dev et le final. Là, ces deux-là étaient trop... comment dire? Étaient trop bruts, je trouve. Même celui-là, hein, ils sont un petit peu trop... un petit peu brutaux au niveau de l'apparence de Sony, je trouve. L'apparence animale est très brutale. Il se fait très méchant, quoi. C'est rigolo. Là, c'est les silhouettes qui sont prêtées au personnage. Ah, Bosco. Il a Bosco. Donc ça, c'est la femme de Sony, du coup. On ne voit pas dans le jeu. Extraordinaire. Vieux concept art. Ah oui, d'accord. Ah oui, d'accord, effectivement. Ah, ça j'ai pas vu. Sony et Marty pixelisé. Ah oui, quand même. On dirait juste des humains avec un nez rouge. Quoi. Ok. Et bah, là c'était très bien. Les inspecteurs cuistots. Ah. Ok. Bah écoute, pourquoi pas. Ça sera un spin-off. Les inspecteurs cuistots. Non, bah c'était très très bien. C'était vraiment chouette. C'était très bien écrit. Il y avait une ambiance vraiment incroyable. Est-ce que je peux pas baisser un petit peu le son général là pour la conclusion? Regarde-moi ça, c'est déjà ultra bas. Hop. La conclusion, c'était top. Il y avait vraiment une bonne ambiance. Les musiques sont vraiment chouettes. Le doublage est cool. Bon, le design, c'est... Chacun... Pour le coup, c'est très subjectif. Hein. Il faut aimer les univers anthropomorphiques comme ça. Mais c'est surtout l'écriture, quoi. Le gros point fort, l'écriture, elle était top, quoi. Les dialogues sont tellement bien écrits. Même la narration au global est vraiment très maîtrisée. Moi, s'il y a une suite, je signe direct. Hein. Et j'y vais tout de suite. S'il y a une suite, pour un truc aussi quali, ah ouais, je veux. Pour trouver ces personnages-là, je veux. Et donc pour répondre à la question, moi je sais pas sur quoi ça va partir après. Hein. Encore. J'ai pas mal de jeux qui me tentent. Le fameux Edge of Eternity, par exemple. Retrouvez Chris 2 fois par an aux prochaines conventions Fury de votre région. Donc voilà, je vais prendre le temps de la journée de demain et même globalement du week-end pour voir sur quoi je vais partir après la semaine prochaine. Mais oui, il y a plusieurs trucs qui me tentent. Demain soir, bah, du coup, on va se faire du Nobody Save the World. Un live duo. On va commencer une nouvelle aventure, hein, puisqu'on a terminé Far Cry 5 il y a 2 semaines maintenant. Il est temps de passer sur une nouvelle aventure. Ah, et ce sera demain la surprise. Alors demain, du coup, pas de live. J'ai pas envie de subir ça. Non, demain, Nobody Saves the World à 20h. Et donc, du coup, avec la surprise. Voilà, bah du coup, on va s'arrêter là. Chicken Police, c'était très cool. J'en parlerai très sans doute dans le bilan de fin d'année, ou même si dans un prochain live blabla, on se décide de, je sais pas, faire un bilan de mi-année ou quoi, j'en parlerai. Quoi qu'il en soit, j'en parlerai. Ouais, oui, on va Discord après, j'arrive. Voilà. Merci du coup d'avoir été là. Merci d'avoir assisté à cette série de live. Merci de m'avoir suivi sur l'aventure Chicken Police. Paint It Red. C'était avec joie que j'ai parcouru ce petit jeu de Wild Gentleman. Ou un petit développeur. Ce que j'ai vu dans les noms du générique d'Europe de l'Est. Si j'ai bien compris le délire. Voilà. Merci à tous. Et du coup, à demain pour Nobody Save the World avec Florian. Pour un petit live duo à 20h. Merci. Comme d'habitude, des bisous. Et à demain pour ceux qui veulent. Salut.